everyone, I'm Mind, and welcome back to another LEGO Ninjago throwback review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the ElectroMech from the Tournament of Elements wave back in 2015. This set contained 153 pieces, 2 minifigures, and originally retailed for $14.99 in the US. Let me know in the comments which throwback review you guys want to see next week, but now let's get into the review. So here's the main build of the ElectroMech itself, and I have already kind of taken a look at this on the channel before. I looked back at it in my Legacy versus Original video, but this time around I'm going to be doing a full review rather than just comparing it to the Legacy version, and this thing is genuinely fantastic. I cannot believe this set was only $15, because yeah, I mean, it is small, it fits the $15 price point, but I don't know, this feels like so much more than we would get in a $15 set nowadays. Heck, we wouldn't even get $15 sets nowadays, they just don't exist. But anyway, yeah, let's take a look at it up close. Pretty basic design for the mech's feet, though there are stickers on the top to give it a very mechanical looking design. The feet themselves are identical, but the stickers do differ. You can see this one has the newer J symbol on it, but it has a similar just like golden metallic design. The legs are easily the worst part of the mech in my opinion. I don't know, I feel like they definitely look a little awkward. This was one of the first mechs to do the whole false knee thing, and I think that's done alright, but it's definitely a little bit gappy, and I wish it was covered up a little bit more because you could see just like the gray joint parts. I would have liked maybe a little bit more blue used here, or just some more pieces for texturing, but that's a very easy customization to make, and if not having detail here helped keep the price down, I think that's more than a fair trade-off, because yeah, I still think it works well enough. And once again, identical design on the other side. Coming up to the body, this is where the seat is for Jay to sit. You can see there's the 2 golden katanas coming up, and this opens up to actually allow room for Jay to fit inside. To actually put him in the vehicle, you attach his legs to the back like this, and then close it all back up around him. And there you go, now you can have his hands on the little control panel in front of him. If you didn't see that, there's how that looks. And I think that looks really good. It feels fully enclosed in the mech, but it's a nice simple way to create seating that doesn't actually take up that many bricks. This is something I feel like LEGO has done other times too, but it's a good and effective technique, and this is one of the earlier ones to use it. I really like these stickered parts up here with the turning gears and then just another golden metallic design. The arms are connected on with CCDS pieces because they were still using them at this time. And then on the one hand, you have 3 individually posable fingers, or I guess 2 fingers and a thumb. This has Jay's original symbol right here, which is very cool to see, but there's room to maybe hold something in that hand if you wanted. For example, the weapon that comes in this set. And then the other arm is a very similar design, but instead at the very end there's stud shooters with yellow studs coming out. And this sticker is quite different too, with like the electricity coming up, I guess, powering the stud shooters. That looks really good as well. Maybe a little too much gray for my liking on the CCBS parts. I would have preferred if those were recolored, but it's not a huge deal. Oh, and I forgot to mention those little shoulder pads up here too, which are also on mini ball joints and can be articulated a little bit. Around the back you can see there's this whole Technic system and these golden blades coming down, and this is actually the transformation feature of this set. If you push up on this bar right here, the wings actually fly out like that, and there's how it looks from the front, which is honestly pretty awesome. I don't remember in the context of the show what the purpose of like flying the wings out was, but it just looks really cool and the transformation's really smooth, so absolutely no complaints from me. I'm really happy that's there. In terms of posability, it's pretty great on this guy. Because he is so small and so light, you can stand him on 1 foot like this, but also beyond that, there's just a great range of motion in the legs. You can see because this is such an old set, it's squeaking when I move the legs. The feet too, pretty big range side to side as well as forward and back. And yeah, you can just get into some pretty fun and dynamic poses. There's a big range of motion here, but it also feels stable, so I think it does a perfect job of mixing the play and display aspects. If you want to just sit on the shelf, you can get in great poses like this, but if you're actually playing with it, it's not going to fall over a ton, it's not going to fall apart. They did a really good job of designing this as a toy, which is something that makes me happy to see, and it's not something we always see nowadays. So yeah, fantastic job here, really love this build. And then there is actually a little side build in this set, which is fascinating to me that a $15 set came with a side build, and it is literally only a few parts, but it's still one that I'm very happy is here. It's this little crossbow turret for the Anacondrae cultists, and I mean, that's adorable. It's cool to get the crossbow pieces, they're extra weapons you can use. It uses a battle droid body at the back just to be like the base of the turret, and if you take the entire turret off of this bottom piece, you can see it comes with this super cool printed part. Now this is not an exclusive part, this does come in a few sets, but it's got like the Anacondrae Ouroboros symbol on it, and that just looks fantastic. It's such a cool part, and it definitely did not need to come in this set, but I'm really glad that it did. And I think it's cool that there is something for the mech to fight, even if it is pretty small. Now here are the 2 minifigures in this set. We have Tournament Jay and we have Chope. Tournament Jay is one of my favorite Jay suits of all time. I think the colors on him just work so perfectly. The yellow of his skin contrasted with the blue is such a great color combination, and obviously he always has a yellow face, but with the sleeveless design, it just looks fantastic with the robes in my opinion. And the orange of his hair too, it all just ties together to make one of the perfect ninja suits in my opinion. My only criticism of it is the yellow on his neck is printed a little bit too light. Now that's unfortunate, but it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I think the tournament suits do the half masks way better than the rebooted suits did, and this guy just looks great all around. I like how he has his original symbol on his back too, and the lighter blue used for the belt was an interesting touch, but I actually really like that. I feel like that's something we don't see as often nowadays, because I guess Zane and Nia use that color blue more now. But no, this is a fantastic minifigure. In terms of his accessory, it's really wacky. The tournament sets came with these Jade Blade weapons, which did not appear at all in the show. Obviously the Jade Blades themselves did, but there wasn't like this large hilt to it. So personally, when I was a kid, I just removed the hilt and kept the Jade Blade on its own. But I mean, the hilt provides some variation, which is nice, and it does lead to this big, fun, goofy build, so I still like it. And then we have Chop, who is one half of the Chop and Kapow duo. Chop's actually the main reason I got this set, because I really liked Chop and Kapow in the show, and I had Kapow from something else, I don't remember what, but I wanted Chop to go with him, so that's the main reason I got this set, and I'm really glad I did. But yeah, he's a really good minifigure. I love the design of the Anaconda cultists overall. Once again, I think the yellow works really well with their color scheme. Because he is shirtless, the yellow is more than a skin tone, it is like actually a part of his color scheme. It contrasts really well with the dark red, and then the dark red and the purple combined has a really nice look to it. And then I love the overall snake aesthetic with little snake skulls on his belt, obviously the purple Anaconda tattoo, and then all of the purple markings on his face. The skull helmets on these guys were really cool too. Absolutely love how they look. Oh, I never noticed he has a little scar on his back too. That's a fun touch. It makes him a little unique compared to some of the other Anaconda cultists. And there's how they both look with their accessories removed. You can see Jay just has his original face print, not a ton to say about that. But Chop's face print's very good. Super intense. I kind of wish he had a more happy face print to go with his personality from the show. But this isn't terrible and still fits him. And you can see lots of detail in the face with all the purple tattoos. And then there's one last look at them from the back. No back face prints on either of these guys because they didn't really do that too much back in 2015. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. For a $15 set, this is a perfectly fine minifigure selection. No complaints from me at all. And so, what are my overall thoughts on this set? I love this set. This is a very well done set. Tournament was a really unique wave when it came to sets, because think about nowadays, most waves don't have any sets under $20. Tournament, though, I believe had 3 or 4, or maybe even 5 now that I think about it. Quite a few sets under $20. And while this is the only one of those that I have, I really love it. I feel like you get so much here. The mech, other than not being the prettiest in a few parts, is really good. It obviously fits Jay very well, matches his color scheme, and it's fun to play with. It could use a few more texturing pieces, but that's very easy to do yourself. And it's also just something in general they didn't do as much back in 2015 like they do nowadays. So I think especially for the time it's a fantastic set, but even looking back, I'm very happy with it. Minifigure selection's great too, so yes, 100% I would recommend it. I'm not sure how much this goes for in the aftermarket because I did buy it back in 2015, but if it's not that expensive and you like Tournament of Elements, I highly recommend you pick it up. I know a lot of people really want a legacy version of this, and all we got was the 4+ one, and it would be cool to see them do a proper full-size take on it nowadays, but as it stands, the original is pretty darn close to perfect, so even if a remake never happens, I'm happy with what I have. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, let me know which throwback review you guys want to see next week. If you enjoyed this video, please press like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do LEGO and Ninjago videos just like this one almost every day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!